Ethereum wants to go higher as long as some geopolitical nonsense does not happen over the weekend. Ethereum finds itself in a pretty interesting place. It has been going sideways for weeks on end, consolidating in an insane range. And I'm going to talk about that with you and update you on my Ethereum trade. So let's go ahead and dive in here. Check it out. This is the daily for ETH right now. Yes, the MACD is in a downtrend, showing a slowdown of momentum, but the price has remained stable right across that slowdown in the MACD momentum. Okay, we had our fake breakout here. Then, of course, the crap kicked off with the Middle East, unfortunately, derailing that short-term rally that was forming up. RSI remains in an overall downtrend, currently below the yellow control line. So before we see the next breakout, we want to see the RSI coming back up over the yellow line here on the daily on the RSI, and ideally a bullish MACD crossover here as well. However, we are still unbelievably between the rock and the hard place. It's been absolutely wild to see here for ETH. Now, ever since the 10th of May, we are now about 6 weeks into this trend, this consolidation period here for Ethereum, which is going to have a pretty violent resolution in one way or the other. It'll either break down dramatically and come down to test around $2,100, which is sort of the implied target from the breakout of this range, or we have a breakout to the upside with an implied target around $3,000, maybe even a little bit higher. That's what we're looking at right now for ETH. So far, the 200-day EMA, the rock, has been holding up pretty gosh darn well as an area of price support. 50-day EMA wicks, not quite perfectly tested, but down in that range, as well as this general support range in here, continues to hold up. So the 50-day blue line, 200-day purple line, zone of approximate price support right in here. So bids between 24.40 and sort of 24.75, 24.80, probably an interesting value zone. Again, if the USA starts bombing Iran or something over the weekend, that's probably going to see a pretty strong candle to the downside in that particular situation, as it'll introduce wild amounts of uncertainty into the markets. Whether or not you think that's going to happen probably depends on how you're looking at the market right now. If you believe that that's a strong likelihood, then a break under the 200-day could be a short situation. Again, with that target down around 2,100 bucks. If we get a bounce off the 200, a long from there up to the top of the range is not out of the question, or a long from there that you're hoping to hold for much higher, up to $3,000, even $3,300 as next major price targets before we find new consolidation areas, could become an interesting play. Now, I've been long on ETH since, oh gosh, when was it? When did I open that up? It's been like 2 weeks now. Since right around here, around 24.60, with a stop loss down at 24.30, which now we find ourselves just under the 50-day EMA, which feels like a decent place to have the stop loss set at currently. But with all the uncertainty in the markets, don't know. This position's magically survived 2 big pull downs in the market, getting down to even $8, $9 within the stop loss hitting, but not hit yet. So the position continues to survive. And I think ETH can still go much higher, especially if we get any kind of indications of a diplomatic resolution to the current conflict in the Middle East, which is definitively a thing that's been spooking the crypto markets. Okay, stock markets haven't reacted as much. Stock markets are still about 3% away from all-time highs. Crypto's taken a little bit more of a hit. Bitcoin showing a bit stronger. ETH had, of course, this big moment earlier this year where it crashed epically and is trying to recover from that crash. So let's see if we can now find some movement forward. I want to talk about the weekly chart with you here as well. Those are the targets that we're aiming for here on daily limit buys to go long, or if we see these fail, potentially to go short. Okay, I think a loss to the 50-day EMA at 24.40 would be a potential short scenario, as well as a loss of the 200-day. So these, I mean, they're very tight. They're within a few dollars of each other, about 20 bucks of each other. So a loss, daily candle loss. I mean, daily candle close under, not just a little wick, okay, but a daily candle close under these becomes a potential short scenario. I still think that as long as we get some kind of positive diplomatic resolution to this entire problem, we're set up for longs here, and that the markets will be ready to rip on even the hint of a diplomatic resolution coming into this entire scenario right now. By the way, Currently, I'm trading ETH over on FEMX, and there's an insane deal that you can partake of right now. So guys, in case you don't know, FEMX is an OG cryptocurrency exchange. It's been around for ages. Big liquidity in all the big coins, exotic meme coins, all the stuff you want to trade, available to anyone, anywhere, okay? And you can get up to $30,000 in trading and deposit bonuses. So the more you deposit, the more you trade, the more bonuses you can get. Plus, exclusively using my link, you can go straight to VIP tier level 2. That means you're going to get a 50% discount on spot trading maker fees. You'll get a 40% discount on limit trading, so maker trading fees for futures. Okay, those are huge deals. If you are a regular trader, you know how much that can add up. Okay, so FEMX already has low fees, and this makes it dramatically lower. So it can make a big difference to your bottom line when trading at high frequencies with high volumes. Okay, so check it out. Link down below. So on the weekly here, ETH is looking absolutely insane. Okay, RSI still trending up on the weekly, although this week's histogram light green, so showing a slowdown in momentum here. But massive consolidation going on right here after this huge move up. We've just been basically putting in this big sort of flag here, this consolidation phase. And again, we have our limit levels where we're going to say, okay, this either is a failure of this pattern to push higher or a success of this pattern to push higher once we break out of the consolidation range. But it's just insane to look at here on the weekly, because look at that. We just keep closing the weekly candles right below the 50-week EMA. And we keep closing right above the 20-week EMA, which continues to hold as, look, 1, 2, 3 times already. It's held as support. Wild, wild stuff here. And we are thankfully back above the 200-week EMA. So, as I said, if there's a breakdown in the price, 2,100 or maybe 2,200 around here, probably looks slightly under the weekly 200-week EMA here if we do get a downside move. We're hoping, of course, for peace and for the upside move to come. But the world is run by crazy people, so you never know. Anyway, this is an insane chart pattern right here. And to see this kind of level of consolidation after this epic move, the market definitely wants higher. The question is, will the geopolitical scene give it the room to breathe and to go higher? And again, the next key levels moving up here are $3,000, big fat round number, previous areas of price support back in this zone here. And then after that, 3,300 becomes a very tempting level as well. If we can have macro hold up and geopolitics hold up, then ETH could be set for a pretty good move this year overall. By the way, this trade here, as you can see, still open over on FEMX here. So right now we've got the stop loss set on this at 24.30, average entry price around 24.87. So I've actually added a little bit to this trade. So the initial entry is at 24.60, and on these sort of dips, I've added a little bit more into this trade. Let's see if it can survive whatever the hell Donald Trump's going to tweet out this weekend. Hopefully it does, because it's going to be a pretty epic trade if we can get the market to continue moving up. That's, of course, the tricky proposition, isn't it? Of course, guys, if you want to trade on FEMX again, link down below. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.